Stories by Defexed Official on YouTube. ASMR, Relaxed Comic Book Reading, is a weekly segment where we handpick extraordinary comic book titles and read them in a relaxed, whispered tone with immersive sound effects included. If you like this new segment, please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and add the playlist to your bookmarks for future reference. With that said, I hope you enjoyed today's relaxed comic book reading. Today we will be reading the giant-sized 200th issue of the Spectacular Spider-Man. Let's dive right in, shall we? Bitten by a radioactive spider, student Peter Parker gained the proportionate strength and agility of an arachnid. Armed with his wondrous web shooters, the reluctant superhero struggles with sinister supervillains, making ends meet and maintaining some semblance of a normal life. Stan Lee presents The Spectacular Spider-Man. Mary Jane. We have to talk. Best of Enemies. A turning point in the life of the Spectacular Spider-Man. No. Yes. Where is he, Liz? Where did Harry go? I told you, Peter. He just went out to get a newspaper. Kill the spider. Break his back. Kill the spider. Break his back. I wanted him to go straight to bed. With that awful fever, he really shouldn't be walking around. But you know Harry. Once he's made up his mind about something, there's no talking him out of it. Peter. Peter, where are you going? Bad, Spider-Man. Bad, bad, bad. I can't believe the nightmare's starting all over again. It's bad enough that they let Harry Osborn out of the vault, but knowing that he's on the streets and that Mary Jane is out there too. Why did I let her walk out like that after we had that stupid argument? I should have gone after her. I should have stopped her. Dear God, I'll never forgive myself if anything happens to her the way it happened to. No, I won't even allow myself to think like that. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. It's a big city. Millions of people. What are the chances of the two of them meeting? Pretty slim, I'd say. If I was dealing with anyone else but the Green Goblin. In all the years I've worn this suit, I've been in some awful situations, but this one is the worst. Harry's my best friend, or he was my best friend, once, before the poisons of his childhood finally became too much for him, before his mind collapsed into a boiling cauldron of hatred. Hatred for Peter Parker, hatred for Spider-Man, and everyone I love. Don't be an idiot, Mary Jane. Stop struggling. You'll kill us both. Then let me go. I will. Just as soon as we arrive at our destination. Where, Harry? Where are you taking? Oh no. You remember, don't you? How could you? How could any of us ever forget the place where all our hearts were forever broken, all our lives forever shattered, the place where Gwen Stacy died? This is the very spot where it happened. She fell, and in a sense, we all fell with her. You understand, don't you, Mary Jane? the satisfaction. So just do it. I'm not afraid to die. Die. Mary Jane, how could you even say such a thing? I'd never hurt you. Never. You're my friend. One of the dearest friends I've ever had. I love you. You sure got a funny way of showing it. No, MJ, no. What you're thinking, I swear to you, I wouldn't dream of. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you like this. I just wanted to. What? You know, I still miss Gwen so much. There are times, even after all these years, when I just can't believe it. It can't be true, I think. She can't really be dead. And when I think of how my father was involved in it, Involved? Norman Osborn wasn't involved, Harry. He killed Gwen. He killed her. He did not. It was a setup. Your stinking husband set him up. Oh, what's the point? You'll never believe me. You think Peter's some saint. Peter the perfect. Peter the good. Nothing I can say can convince you how he changes when he puts on that mask. That costume. Harry, why did you bring me here? To let you know that it will never come to this. What happened with Gwen? I couldn't. Mary Jane, I swear, you've got to. You really mean it, don't you? With all my heart. Remember what it was like in the old days. Those long, lazy nights, just driving around together. You, me, Gwen, and Peter. The only thing on our minds was how much fun we could squeeze into the day. Which disco to go to next. So young, weren't we? So innocent. Young, sure. Innocent, I don't know. We were trying mighty hard to be innocent, but we all had our pain, Harry. No matter how much we tried to hide it. My family was a dysfunctional wreck. Peter orphaned, his uncle murdered, and your mother dead, and your father. Don't you talk about my... No matter what happens between the Green Goblin and Spider-Man, I want you to know that you're safe. I love you, Mary Jane. Peter's aunt, too. You're both family. I'd do anything for you. Then take me home, Harry. Take me home. TV, VCR, stereo, man, what a haul this is. What do you think we can get for this stuff? I don't know, a couple of $100. Check the Goblin's old hideouts. The Osborn mansion is on Long Island. But there's no sign of them anywhere. If he's hurt her, I swear I'll kill him all. You kidding? This stuff's worth a couple of $1,000. Don't worry, there's plenty more where this came from. Don't bet on it, punk. Help! Meg, it's like you are beyond helping. You don't even think about it, do you? You just break into someone's house, violate them, invade their lives. Take the things that mean the most to them, and you treat it all like some kind of joke. Well, it's not, do you hear me? It's not. Please, don't drop me. Please. I'm sorry. I'll give it all back. Just don't kill me. Score one more for the Goblin. I was in such a blind rage, I wasn't even seeing those kids. I was seeing Harry. When I think of what I almost... But you're not gonna do it on me, Harry. I'm not gonna cross the line. I'm not gonna become what you are. Best bet now is to check the apartment. Maybe I've been worrying for nothing. Maybe MJ's back, and she never even ran into. seems. Harry just wanted to talk, that's all. He didn't hurt me. He just wanted to talk to me. But I thought he'd always thinking the worst of me. Aren't you, Peter? Harry, there has got to be another way. We can't go on like this. Peter and I both want to help you. Let's end this insanity, and it's too late for that, Mary Jane. It was too late a long time ago. But remember what I told you. You have nothing to fear from the Green Goblin. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get home. My wife and son are probably getting worried about me. So, now what? I'll tell you what I'd like to do. Go right downstairs, pound that animal's face into jelly, and throw him off the nearest roof. Peter, you don't mean that. A part of me does, but don't worry. I'm still the noble superhero. I couldn't kill anyone, not even Harry. Not even. No matter what's happened, he's still your best friend. Harry's sick. He needs help. You heard what he said, MJ. We're way past the time for that. And as for Harry being my friend, those days are long gone. The bottom line on all this is that Spider-Man's greatest enemy is living downstairs from us. He blames me for everything that's wrong in his life. And he's going to keep after me until... Would you put that stinking cigarette out? No. Could we go to the police? If the police had anything on him, Harry'd still be in the vault. But couldn't we just report him? Get a restraining order or something? Oh, terrific idea. Just stroll into the local prison, whip off my mask, and explain the whole thing. Hey, give me that. No. Maybe it would be a bad idea, Peter. If the world knows you're Spider-Man, then Harry can't hold it over your head anymore. Right, then we'll just have to worry about the Vulture, Dr. Octopus, Hobgoblin, Aunt May, my parents. Hey, at least I'm trying to come up with something. I haven't heard any brilliant ideas from you. I don't have any ideas. Oh, honey, I didn't hear you come in. What happened, Harry? You were gone so long. Night was so pretty, I just kept walking. Sorry, sweetheart. I didn't mean to upset you. How's Normie? Sound asleep. But Harry, I'm a little worried about him. He's been just a little odd lately. Odd? My boy. Are you saying he's... No, Harry. I didn't mean... Normie's perfect. Just perfect. Look at him. He's so beautiful when he's asleep. Like a little angel. Speaking of sleep, honey, don't you think you should go to bed? Your fever is... Will you stop talking to me like that? Like what? Like I'm weak. Like I need coddling. I'm an Osborn, Liz. An Osborn. And the Osborns are strong. Strong enough to rule this family. To rule this city. To rule... Liz, darling. Please. Don't question me. Don't try to get in my way. And I give you my word. Everything will be fine for us. We'll be happy. Really happy. Forever and ever. My sweet, sweet love. Another sleepless night. Things have been quiet enough the past few days. Harry's fever's been keeping him in bed. But how long can we go on like this? And the question remains, what do we do? Move out? Run and hide? Force Harry into a psychiatrist's office and pray he doesn't wreck our lives in the Yes, I'm feeling much better, thank you. Good as new. Let's get this over with, Harry. If it's a fight you want, fight. Whatever are you talking about? I'm just out for my morning constitutional. In costume? No law against running around in colorful long johns, is there? I mean, if there was, they'd have thrown you in jail years ago. See you around, PDO. Good morning, Mr. Jameson. Actually, it's nearly noon. I think a dedicated crusader for truth and justice like yourself will be arriving at the office by 8. Problems with the wife. Really, Mr. Jameson, running for the door? Well, I dare say I'm disappointed. After all these years reading your editorials in the Bugle, proclaiming the world how fearless you are. Ah, it speaks. What do I want? Is that what you're trying to say? You're Harry Osborn, aren't you? Norman's boy. Very much so. Then you must know that your father and I were best of friends. Spare me the testimonials. And here, have a fresh cigar. You dropped yours when your jaw hit the floor. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. What do I want? I'm actually here, Mr. Jameson, to ask for your help. Stop shaking, will you, or I'll never get this thing lit. In publicizing a new project of mine. The Norman Osborn Foundation. A charitable organization that will use the Osborn fortune, and a formidable fortune it is, I can assure you, to do good works around this city and around the world. Sounds wonderful. Yes, I think that, Mr. Jameson, You! Oh, hello, Peter. Fancy meeting you here. You work for this delightful establishment, don't you? Peter and I are old chums, Mr. Jameson. Like you and my father. Best buddies. We used to share what do we call it? Swinging pad back in our college days. Of course, Peter couldn't really afford that apartment. He was just struggling a student after all, and you certainly didn't pay him much. Don't just stand there, you coward. Do something. But my dad, sweet soul that he was, allowed Peter to live there for free. He was quite a man. Our Norman Osborn was. But his reputation's been tarnished in the years since his death. All sorts of vague innuendo and unfounded rumors. And I intend to restore the shine. The foundation's going to have a gala opening in 6 weeks. Be sure to let your readers know about it, Jonah. For Dad's sake. Oh, and if you play ball with me, I just might have some juicy information about another dear friend of yours. Spider-Man. Go on, get out of here, you Looney Tune, and don't you ever show your green face around here again. Hey, wait a minute. Did he say Spider-Man? It's unbelievable. The past few days, Harry's been all over the city, telling anyone who will listen about his Osborn Foundation. And they've been listening. The papers, the talk shows, the evening news. The media's treating him like some wealthy eccentric, as if riding around on a glider dressed like a demon was some odd affectionation, easily forgiven in a millionaire philanthropist. Meanwhile, Mary Jane and I are going gray trying to sort this mess out. Well, one thing's for sure. We've got to move. The tension of having Harry living downstairs, never knowing how he'll strike, it's just too much. But that still doesn't deal with the real problem. MJ seems to think the person to work on is Liz. She's deep in denial, but a part of her knows how twisted Harry is, what a danger he is to her and little Norman. If Liz can find the strength to confront Harry, make him get some natural help. Sick as he is, I know how much he loves his wife and son. Maybe that love can be used too. Oh, poor guy. He ran out of the restaurant. Guess he lost his appetite. Can't say as I blame him. He's been under so much stress lately. Wonder if there's anything I can do to help. There sure is. You can get out of my life. Is this what it's going to be like, Harry? Constant harassment, constant hounding. Well, two can play that game as easily as one. In case you've forgotten, old friend, I'm not an enemy to be taken lightly. And neither am I. My father's strength-enhanced formula has changed me, Petio. I'm not just your equal. I'm your superior. Every day I get stronger and stronger. Every day I... Shut up! I'm sick of your bullying. I'm sick of your threats. Most of all, I'm sick of you. You're not going to get me into a fight when I'm not ready for you. Of course, if you really want to beat up on me, you can go right ahead. Batter me to a bloody pulp. Have yourself a good time. I won't stop you. But when you're done, I will go to the police and file a formal complaint. And after that, I'll call a press conference. Who knows what juicy tidbits I'll be in the mood to share. Blast it, Harry. What do you want from me? Why, I want to make your life utterly miserable. And then, when you least expect it, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years, I'm going to kill you. Or maybe I'll just let the whole world know who you are, and one of your other enemies will do it for me. The truth is, Petio, you won't know what's coming till it happens. But this, I tell you this, the Green Goblin's got big plans for this city. I'm gonna make my father look like an amateur by comparison. And you, my dear old pal, won't be able to do a thing to stop me. 'Cause you so much as breathe in my direction, I'll blow your life wide open. Harry! Toodaloo, Beatster. I'll be seeing you. Oh, Harry, this is so exciting. Watching this all come together these past few weeks. I'm so proud of you. It's been hard getting the place ready in time for the gala, but it's been worth it. When I think of all the good work this foundation will do, all the people you're going to help. I'm not doing it, Liz. He is. It's Norman Osborn's spirit that's fueling our efforts. Everything he did, everything he was, is embodied in our work. Don't you worry, Dad. Your name's going to live on, long after all our enemies are... Harry, honey, I'm okay. Just for a moment there, I went all numb. You've got to slow down, Harry. You're still not well. I don't remember the last time you got a full night's sleep or... Liz, please. You're upsetting little Norman. Daddy's fine, buddy. Get that worried look off your face. And you stop worrying too, Lizzie. But you can't keep pushing yourself like this. I've got to, honey. For Normie. For you. And for him. Now why don't you go on home? But go. I've got a few things to finish up here. I'll keep Normie with me, and we'll be home after dinner. You'd be so happy, Dad. I've really been driving Peter crazy. I let him forget about me for a few days. Then I show up outside the bank or the grocery store, follow him for 4 or 5 blocks, do a few circles around him on the glider, and then fly away. The poor guy's nerves are shot. He and MJ are moving soon. Got themselves an apartment up on the east side. As if that's going to help. By the time I'm done with him, Peter Parker's going to be a total wreck. But that's just part of what I'm up to, Dad. In 2 weeks, we'll be having the grand opening party for the foundation. And I've invited quite a few of your old pals. pretentious, high and mighty jackasses who thought they were so much better than the Osborns. Remember what used to say? They smile to my face, but behind my back, I know they're sneering. Don't trust them, Harry. Don't trust anyone but your family. Well, in 2 weeks, Dad, I'm going to pay them all back for their sneering. You see, I've got this townhouse wired with enough explosives to level a city block. At the height of the festivities, I'm going to press a little button and blow those sneers off their faces. Forever. Call it my way of putting your past to rest and letting the world know that there's a new, even more ruthless green goblin in town. But there's one thing I won't do, Dad. I won't make the mistake you made. I won't forget my family. I'll stay true to my wife, to my son, till the end. How many times have we been through this, Liz? Really, Mary Jane, I appreciate your concern. But Harry's just fine. Well, yes, he is. I admit he's working too hard, but how long are you going to sit there smiling like Donna Reed? When are you going to get it? I don't know what you're... Yes, you do, but you're just too afraid to face it. I've come to you again and again, Liz, hoping that you open your eyes before Harry does something that will haunt you for the rest of your life. When are you going to come out of your cocoon? I think it's a good thing you and Peter are moving. All this crazy talk of yours, it's just upsetting everyone. Go, Mary Jane, please. Just go and leave us alone. You're as bad as he is, you know that. You're as bad as Spider-Man. It just gets worse and worse. Dr. Kafka's talked to the psychiatrists at the vault, and they said that legally there's nothing they can do to rein Harry in, even though they're all in agreement that he's dangerous. Until he actually does something, breaks the law, hurts somebody, their hands are tied. But by then, it might be too late, and there's no way I'm going to sit around waiting, especially after what Harry said to me about the goblin having big plans for the city. That's why I think tonight's the night I take a little tour of the Osborn Foundation. Maybe I can come up with something concrete. Some evidence that'll land him back in a nice padded cell where he can't hurt himself or anyone else. Foundation's my last chance. I've already searched all the goblins' known hideouts. Even went over Harry and Liz's apartment one night when they weren't home. I felt awful about it, going through their personal things like that. But what choice did I have? Even if I do turn something up, there's every chance that Harry will expose my secret. But how long can I let him hold that over my head? Maybe MJ was right. Maybe the best thing is to beat Harry to the punch. All these years I protected Aunt May, but I'd rather she hear the truth from me, not some newspaper. We've weathered some terrible times together. Maybe with God's grace, we can weather this. Funny, time was, I could have said the same thing about Harry. I never thought anything would come between us, best friends to the end. If there was only some way I could get through to him, somehow, tear off that mask and... Incredible. I was so deep in thought that I didn't even realize where I was. But I suppose a part of me knew and led me here, to the place where Gwen died. I've tried to stay away from this bridge since that night. Too many ghosts, too much pain. But now, as hard as it is, I need to be reminded of the blood and the price we all paid when the first Green Goblin invaded my life. I lost the woman I loved. Norman Osborn lost his life. It can't happen again. I can't let it. I have to face facts. The Harry Osborn I once knew is gone. He's the Goblin, now and forever. As twisted, as deadly as his father. He's got to be stopped, in one way or the other. I'll do it. Come on, little guy. Time to go. Psst. past months. We truly love you. You haven't had an easy life. Neither have I, and God knows neither has Peter. But the one thing that holds any of us together, keeps us going, is our love for each other. Sometimes I think I know Peter better than he does, and I'm telling you, Harry, that he misses you, misses everything you once were to each other, and he'd give anything to have you back. Our friends, our family, they're all we have in life. We destroy that. We've destroyed everything. Please, I don't know what else to do, what to say. I'm begging you, Harry, don't destroy us. Don't destroy yourself. Please. That night on the bridge, you told me that the good old days weren't as good as I remembered them. What makes you think the future's going to be any better? We're all in pain, all walking wounded. You think love is the answer. I've learned better. The only true answer is power. And this is all the power I'll ever need. When I put on this mask, when I altered myself with that strength-enhancing formula, I rose above my pain, above my problems. I am a giant Mary Jane, and very soon the whole world's going to see how tall I am. Go home, my dear old friend. It's too late for love. I just can't leave like this. There has to be some. The alarm. What is it? What's wrong? What's wrong? He's what's wrong. Do you see? You begged me to stop, but he won't let go. He won't let go. Danger sense is buzzing like crazy. Hope I haven't tripped some silent alarm. The last thing I need now is the police. Well, with a little luck I should be able to get in and out before they even... Time's run out, PDO. I'm not going easy on you anymore. Tonight, old buddy, is going to be your last night on Earth. Gonna take more than a pumpkin bomb to take me out here. A lot more. And frankly, you just haven't got it. You webbed moron. You still don't realize how much I've changed. How my father's formula has transformed me. I've got strength enough to crush you like the insignificant insect you are. In case you've forgotten, your father had the same formula, and it didn't quite work out that way. It's not the same one. This is a new formula. He was working on it when you murdered him. If he'd finished it, things would have ended differently. He would have destroyed you. But I'm almost glad he didn't, because it gives me the chance to do it for him. Get this straight once and for all, you sick fool. I didn't kill your father. He was the murderer, not me. And get this straight too, Harry. The game is over. I don't care if you announce my identity on a Barbara Walters special. I'd rather have the truth out and put my faith in the people I trust and love than leave them all at the mercy of a lunatic like you. Barbara Walters. Why? I hadn't thought of that. But why not Oprah? Or Phil? Or even Geraldo? I'm sure they'd all love to hear the sordid details of your life and the sad account of your slow, painful death. My glider didn't have this little spear end the last time we fought, and it might just have cost me the battle. But dear old Dad taught me to learn from my mistakes. You haven't learned anything. You've just been repeating Norman Osborn's mistakes over and over. You're stuck in a loop, and I'm sick and tired of going round and round in it with you. Like I said, Air, game's over, and you just lost. I don't think so. seems like we're evenly matched. So, what are we gonna do here? Keep pounding on each other till we're both dead? Sounds like a really stupid idea to me. Maybe there's some other way, huh? We used to do a pretty good job of working things out back when we were roomies. Remember? No matter what the problem was, we'd always find a way to talk things through and... Oh, spare me the sudden burst of dewy-eyed nostalgia. You think I don't know what you're doing, trying to play with my emotions, distract me, while you figure out a way to get the upper hand. Well, I've got the upper hand now, Ruby. Arr! What? A nasty little chemical to shatter your equilibrium. Another minute, you'll hardly be able to lift your head. But don't worry, it's not poison or anything. It won't kill you. I want the pleasure of doing that myself. But guess what, old pal? I've just decided that you won't be dying alone. You said before that the idea of us going at each other till we're both dead doesn't make any sense. But I've been thinking about it, and it makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, how long can we keep whirling around in that loop you were talking about? It'll be better for everyone, won't it? If we get out of it right now. That's that. Timer's set. 2 minutes, and this whole building blows apart. One big ball of fire. Let's face it, people like you and me are better off dead. The world's too hard for us. We bruise too easily. We bleed too much. And we leave nothing but pain in our wake. We're toxic, Peter. Anyone comes near us, and their lives become radioactive. So don't fight it. Drugs too strong anyway. Just relax. Accept. After all, isn't it time the two of us found a little peace? No, you can't do this. You can't. Life's too precious, Harry. No matter how much pain we're in, or how much many burdens we have to bear, it's too precious to just forsake it like this. Think of how much we have. The people we love will be better off without us. Believe me, they'll... Oh, no! Mary Jane, Norman, Harry, I've got your son with me, and we're coming up. Do you hear me? They're in the house. What? What have I done? Oh, dear God, what have I done? You've got to get them out of here. I can barely move but you. There's no time. I'll never be able to. You can do it. No, you don't understand. I'm not like you. I'm no hero. I can't do anything right. Never could. My father always used to say, I don't care about your father. I care about you. We're coming. And right now, you're the only hero we've got. Up. So go, Harry. Go! I did it. It's all right. You're both safe now. No bomb's going to. Bomb? What are you talking about? The foundation. Any second, the building's going to explode. Mary Jane. And my husband is in there. You left Peter there to die. Yes. No. I don't know. I don't know. Mary Jane. I love. Huh? so there's some comments at the end of most of these comics. So we'll read some of them. Those last two panels, powerful. Slash says, cried when reading it for the first time. Crying again now, damn it. Jack Kirby says, and so what began in Amazing Spider-Man 122 comes full circle here. Classic issue. You'd think that JJJ would have better security measures though. First Dog Ock, then Carnage, now Green Goblin, and the few times he reaches that button to summon the Wild Pack, they use non-lethal weaponry and lose miserably. He needs mercenaries with heavy weaponry and a silent alarm button built into the doorknob. Norrin replies, don't worry, he's aware of his plot armor. Fishtario says, this has always been one of my favorite issues, and no matter how many times I read it, I always finish it wanting to cry. Hits right into the heart. Barius Sama replies, it feels wrong to me this happened in Spectacular instead of the main book. Anyway, it's incredibly good and sentimental, worth every reread. Now in 2020 more than ever. Norrin replies, I'm fine with it being in Spectacular. Many times Spectacular has proved to be better than Amazing in my opinion. Winan says, this whole issue is heartbreaking. Kui says, well, I didn't need my feelings anyway. Purple Flurb says, gosh, this issue was so good. There's something about 200th issues of Spider-Man that make them really good. LOL, that little Norman. He is like some kind of Chucky with those faces he is making. Heaven Beers Sigmund replies, I've always been more unsettled by Little Normie than any other Osborn. Alright, so that's enough for the comments that I'll read. So there you have it. Marvel Comics, giant-sized 200th issue of the Spectacular Spider-Man. I hope you enjoyed it. You can read these comics on Read Comics Online, Read Comic Online. So it's readcomiconline.li. I guess that says. And you can read these comics, you don't have to sign in or anything, see? I'm not even logged in or registered. You can read any comic, really, for free and high quality. It's great, and I highly recommend this website. So check it out, on your own time, of course. And with that said, thank you very